So in this video, we'll take a closer look at this Astrolux VC04, which is a 4-slot lithium-ion and nickel-metal battery charger. And I believe you can get this specific charger under various different brands. This one is, of course, the Astrolux one. I got this off Banggood. So let's just have a look around the box here. It does have all various of protection. So anti-reverse, overcharge, overcurrent, and short circuit protection as well. We do have a little bit of information of what kind of battery you can actually use. Of course, there's a little sticker on there, but it just charge all of these type of nickel metal batteries. So of course, AA, AAA, quadruple A, C, SC, 7 and 5F6, and all of the lithium ion batteries here all the way up to 26700. On the back side, we do have a little bit more information about the charger itself or some specifications. So you can charge up to 0.5 amps if you charge all 4 channels at the same time. If you're only charging 2 batteries, you can charge up to 1 amp. And if you only charge 1 battery, you can charge that up to 2 amps. And you get the charger, and you also get Type-C cable and a storage punch and manual. And there's some QR codes there. You can scan those if you want to have some more information about Astrolux. But anyways, let's just get into this box here. Have a closer look what we actually get. And I think these chargers are excellent for traveling, because you can just bring a standard USB charger and charge up all your batteries. And we do get some instructions here. So the user manual, it just go through some of the functions of the charger. I don't believe this charger can actually discharge or test capacities of batteries. It is just charging. So there is an LCD screen that can give you some information about the battery status and the charging status. And there are 2 buttons here as well. So one of them you can change the current that you're charging the specific batteries with. And the other one, I believe you can change between the different batteries. If you want to have more details, you can only really see more details of one battery at a time. So you kind of have to switch through those manually. And it also tells you you need to use a 5V 2 amp adapter. And you should probably use one of the higher quality ones as well. And maximum of 5.5 volt. Do not try to disassemble or repair the charger. Okay, I won't try that. So let's just see what we get in this little pouch here. So kind of nice that they include this, because like I said, I want to use mine for traveling, and I can just throw it in here and throw it in my bag, and it won't get scratched up, and also a place to carry the cables as well. But this one does come with 2 cables. So we do have a USB Type-C and a micro USB cable included. So that's kind of nice. They only really specified that USB Type-C cable is included. But of course the other end here is just standard Type A USB. So it will fit into pretty much any charger you have lying around. And then we have the charger itself. So of course we have the 4 individual channels, and all of the channels are nicely spring loaded and also metal gliders here. So it's nice and easy to insert a battery. It does appear like the 2 outer ones here are a little bit thicker, so they're probably for the bigger types of batteries. And of course the plus end goes in towards the top of the charger here, and also nicely labeled there inside the charging channels. But it does have reverse polarity protection, so that's definitely nice. On the right side of the charger, we only have these 2 grooves here, so it seems to be fake vents. Doesn't really seem to be any hole through. So yeah, I guess it's just for design aesthetics. On the other side is the same thing, those fake ventilation holes there. And the bottom side, there are also some grooves there for no apparent reason, probably for easier molding. But on the top side here, this is where of course you have all of the different plugs. So we do have a USB Type-C plug here on the left, which is input A. Input 2 is micro USB, and we have input 3 here, which is actually lightning. There's no lightning cable included, but if you still have lightning cables for all of your Apple accessories or phones and so on, you can use those for this charger. So that's definitely nice. All of them are labeled 5V 2 amps. So that's definitely what you should use with a charger like this. On the bottom side here, we do have 4 rubber feet, so it's nice and stable on your table. We do actually have some ventilation here on the bottom side. You probably shouldn't cover those, so maybe you shouldn't charge your batteries on your bed and so on, where these actually get covered, because it probably needs to get rid of some heat. I don't imagine it being too much, but if you're charging 4 batteries at the same time, it's still 2 amps. So it will probably get a little bit hot. And then we have the label here on the bottom side, which is actually shaped as a battery, which is kind of a nice little detail. And all of the specifications of the batteries. You can see here what kind of charging speed or how many amps you can actually provide to all of these batteries, and all of the types of batteries you can actually charge with this one here. So you can also charge EMR, ENR, ECR, and NCR and NMC batteries, as well as, of course, lithium ion and 1.2 volt rechargeable, all of the different sizes, except for, of course, these size batteries. I believe those are still a little bit too big for a charger like this. And then, of course, here on the front side, we do have the display with 2 buttons. One button to switch between the different batteries so you can see detailed information, and the other button you can switch between the different amps. So if you want to charge a little bit faster, and if you only have 1 batteries installed, for instance, you can charge up to 2 amps or 2 batteries, 1 amp each, and you can probably set that using the amps button. For this one here, I will just use the USB Type-C cable, and let's just try and plug it in to my charger here. So this one can supply up to 2.4 amps. So that should be plenty for this charger. And let's just plug it into the USB Type-C plug on the back, and the display comes alive. Of course, there's no battery installed as of yet, so we don't get any information. So let's just try and actually plug a battery in. I have a little bit different types of batteries here. So we have a AAA, AA, and also a lithium ion 18650 battery, which is the biggest ones I have currently. I use those for flashlights. I don't really have anything bigger at the moment, but you pretty much just plug them in. It should automatically register what type of battery you're using, and you can see there right immediately it tells me that this is a lithium ion 4.2 volt, and you can also see up here that it actually is charging at 0.5 amps. And I guess clicking the amp button, we should be able to bump that up. Yeah, you can see now we're at 1 amps, and now we're at 2 amps. So you can actually charge all the way up to 2 amps. You do need to hold the button just a second there for it to switch modes. So if you just want a slow charge, which is of course best for the batteries long term, you can just do that. But if you also want to get your batteries up and running fastest, you can of course charge up to 2.0 amps. So that's kind of neat. Let's just try and plug in another battery. So this is a AA battery, and it should automatically, yeah, you can see there. I probably have to switch between them. Yeah, you can see pressing the C button, you switch between the two. You can only really see details for 1 battery at the time. It seems to be a little slow though, or maybe it's just me being impatient. Just press the button for not a second, but just a half a second, and it seems to work just fine. But you can see there it registers automatically that this is a nickel metal battery, and also tells you the time, how long you're charged, the battery's volt, and it does seem to switch back to lithium ion. I'm not really sure why it does that. Shouldn't it just stay on the channel I have selected? But anyways, it shows you the volt of the battery, the actual charging percentages, and also shows you how many milliamps it's actually charged the battery with. It seems to be just continuously recharging the lithium ion battery. Maybe it wasn't connected properly. But anyways, it should stay on the battery that you have at least installed last, but also the battery you have selected last with the select button here. So it shouldn't really jump back and forward like it just did, but I think that was a back connection with the lithium ion battery. So if I install this AAA battery, the 3rd slot should automatically jump to that slot. Yeah, you can see there, and it also automatically registers that this is a nickel metal battery. And again, it shows you the volt, how far you are in the charging. You are 25% right now. How many milliamps that you actually have charged into the battery. And it also shows you the time. So it will switch between milliamps and time here on the left side of the display. I don't think you can actually manually switch between the two. So yeah, pretty easy user interface. So just use the C button to switch between the battery if you want detailed information. But you can also always see the charging status just by looking at the batteries. You can see they're continuously flashing in and out. So you can see the charge status there. You don't have to select the battery only if you really want more information. So for instance, how long you have to charge the battery, what voltage is at now, and of course you can see the more detailed percentages here. So yeah, I think this little charger is excellent. I have other models that is pretty close to this one, but only have micro USB, and I kind of want to go away from micro USB. That's my reasoning for upgrading to this, because USB Type-C is just much more convenient, at least for me, because all of my other devices pretty much are USB Type-C nowadays. So that's why I'm upgrading to this one, but I have had no issue with that charger. I use it, like I said, when I'm traveling or on the go. Fantastic. You can just plug it into your car and charge your batteries there. Or, of course, if you are abroad or in other parts of the world, you can, of course, already just use the charger you have with you for charging other stuff to charge your actual battery. So definitely highly recommend these chargers here. I've had no issues, like I said, with the ones I already have, and hopefully this one will be just as good. They're very inexpensive, but of course you have to factor in the fact that you need to supply your own power adapter, because that's not included. You only really get cables included. But I have so many of these adapters lying around, so it's not really an issue for me personally. If you're interested in this charger, of course you can use the affiliate link down in the description below. But that's pretty much all I have for this one. Until next time, take care.